Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Cooking with Richard Stovall Public Library. Today we're going to be making eggnog cookies. So what you're going to need is, of course, some eggnog, all-purpose flour, white granulated sugar, brown sugar, nutmeg, vanilla, cream of tartar, some baking soda, and some baking powder, and a couple of eggs, and butter. And I'm using the unsalted version. There's quite a few steps to this one, so it will be a fairly long process. But we're going to start with the cookie part first. So for the dough, we have a bowl and we have a sifter. We are going to sift together the 4 cups of flour, all-purpose flour, and we're using a teaspoon of the baking soda, the baking powder, the nutmeg, and the cream of tartar. And we're sifting that together. What's important, however, is the way that we do the flour. Because if you get too much flour, it affects the cookies. Normally we would just, at least I would normally just take a cup, scoop from the bag or whatever, wherever my flour is, fill it to the top and dump, and count 4 times. However, we won't do it that way. Take a spoon and gently spoon the flour and put it into your measuring cup. It doesn't pack as much. This will be packed more. This will be looser. So you won't get as much flour into your measuring cup using a spoon. And we don't want too much flour. So that's the tip, the important tip for this particular recipe. So our dry ingredients have been sifted together. And then in a separate bowl, I combined 1 cup of butter with the 2 eggs, both types of sugar. We had 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar and 1 cup of packed brown sugar. And I put in a 1/4 cup of the eggnog and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You could also add some rum if you'd like. And mix that together. So we have 2 separate bowls and we're going to mix them together now. Okay, so this is your dough. I I did not use the mixer. I took a spoon, a good size spoon, and stirred the 2 items together. So you don't dump the flour mixture in with the wet mixture and stir. You do it piecemeal, about 4 or 5 different little dumpings. And then you stir it together. It works it in a little easier. It's kind of dough-like. And what we're going to do now is cover this with some saran wrap and put it in the refrigerator to chill for about an hour. So I've taken out our dough from the fridge. It was in there for about an hour. I've put on our oven to preheat to 350 Fahrenheit. And I have also put together our topping. So I've got some granulated white sugar and threw in a little bit of nutmeg. And then what we're going to do next is just take a little hunk of our dough, make it into a ball. It should be about 1 inch. I'm not very good with sizes, but I think that's about 1 inch. I drop that into our sugar and just roll it around until it's completely covered. And then I just put that on our grease tray. Get them all on there. You should be able to get 12. This is a fairly small size pan. I did 2 pans to put in the oven. They stay in there for 8 to 9 minutes, no more. And then when you pull them out of the oven, leave them on top on the pans to cool for about 10 minutes. Do not move them until they're cool for those 10 minutes. Once the 10 minutes is over, you can bring them over and put them on your cookie racks. Then, I also mixed together, while they were cooling, I made another part topping. This is our icing. It's a fairly thick icing. It was 2 cups of icing sugar, a little bit of, I think it was a half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and a 1/4 cup of the eggnog. And that makes a fairly thick icing to it. So then I take my cookie that's cooled. I dip it. You can drizzle if you want. So my cookie is covered. I'm going to put some green on this because I made a whole slew of red ones. So I thought I'll do some green now. And that is your cookie. And you just let that harden a little bit and you're done. Here's one of my red ones. It's the same thing. Now they do harden, but they don't harden completely. So if you're going to put them into containers afterwards, layer them. Just remember that the icing won't be hard. So if you're layering, you might smush it a bit. So just be careful on that. But that is, I think, a pretty good recipe. They taste pretty good. I've already tried one. And that is our eggnog cookies, a good Christmas cookie. So I hope you enjoy those, and let us know if you like them.